Good morning, YouTube. How we doing? PPS back here. It is Past the Prop, coming to you live for our Wednesday show edition. Obviously, got our guests in the house. We have the three-person panel in here today with my guy, Above Average Prop Guy, along with Monotone as always. What do we call you, Mr. Prop Guy, or how we gonna? What am I gonna say? Am I gonna say AAPG, or how we doing this?
Just keep it to Prop Guy.
Prop Guy. All right. How we doing, man?
Good.
Yeah, it's been. I think the last time I saw you was on Football, right? I don't think we did. That's why I think we did all. We were in football season around that October. Was our last time seeing you on the show. So welcome back.
It's good to be back. It's been a while, like you said.
Monotone, how was the day yesterday?
Yeah, solid day. It's been a good last couple of weeks, honestly. Just kind of fully going into baseball, leaving the corpse of basketball in our past. It's been fun over here. I don't know if people noticed, even in Taylor Fade, we've been kind of itching away from those NBA and just fully embracing MLB. And we've got plenty of season left, so I'm real excited to keep digging into this. Obviously, we got a great guest today, another baseball savant in here, so it should be a good one for sure.
Yeah, I'm very excited. We got the Wednesdays are probably my favorite slates just because you have the one starting at noon. You got like one every hour spread out perfectly till about 5, and then you still got late slate rolling for the late ones there. So ton of action today to break down, and we'll get right on into it. But first, obviously, got to do the recap as always. I believe we had another profitable show. Correa, Acuna cashes pretty easily there, along with Arias and Garcia, so that was very good. Braves absolutely murdered them. It was like 8-0 in the first 5. And then Alcantara, he ended up cashing my outs prop. I had the over 19.5 outs, but ended up with 5 Ks. Still obviously threw pretty well, dude. The guy's got the longest leash I've ever seen, dude. He went out with 98 pitches for a full another inning. Like, this dude is just a savage. He just kept going, and obviously didn't even get the win, but obviously threw extremely well in that one again. So breaking down today's slate, we will let you kick it off for us, Prop Guy. I'll let you start us off here with the first play of the day.
So for my first play of the day, we're going to go to Byron Buxton over 1.5 total bases. Something about him and Marcos Gonzalez, I don't know. He's hitting 571 off him with 3 home runs and a double. So, I mean, that's already over half your plate appearances. That's only 7 plate appearances that he's done that in, too. And then you look at his last 10 games, he's cashed it 6 times with an average of 3.5 bases per game. And in that span, he's found his power. His power swing has just been incredible. He's 7 home runs in his last 10 games, including 2 multi-home run games back-to-back. Just something about him and Seattle, he loves it. He averages 3.5 bases per game against that team alone as well.
I'll never go away from Byron Buxton, man. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we've seen him, what he can do to Garrett Cole even. I mean, he destroyed Garrett Cole in that game, ended up with 2 home runs in that one. Byron Buxton is one of those guys who's extremely, extremely streaky. And when he's hot, man. It's one of the craziest things because you look at him in like the first 2 months of the year, dude was batting like $180, couldn't get it rolling, kept getting injured. Now when you start to see him stay healthy for a month, 2 months, you start to see the actual talent that got him that money, right? The big payday that he deserved. Mm-hmm. So when he's healthy, I'd never back away from Byron Buxton. You got any thoughts here, Mono?
Yeah, no, this is one of those spots where you look how they've been doing recently, and then you get fired up, and then you're like, okay, let me check how he's doing against the pitcher, right? And you see, he's got 3 bombs and 7 at-bats. Absolutely no reason to go away from this one. Dude's on fire right now. Looks like it's plus 100 on DraftKings. That's even better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not one of those guys when he gets hot. Some JD Martinez, he's flinging singles across. This guy's going to go yard. You know what I mean? He's hitting bombs right now, absolutely crushing the ball. So definitely going to be telling you on this one, especially at plus 100. That's a good price right there for sure.
Yeah, plus 100 on DK. Looks like MGM has the same spot. Happy we have guys who know all 3 of our spots here. Jay Wells, appreciate you for popping in here and being a part of the community in here. And we will get this right on into number 2. Obviously, most of us be tailing that Buxton spot. And this is another spot I think I'll be tailing with you there, Mono.
Yeah, it looks like the Braves are going to continue the sweep today. I've unfortunately have been betting against the Nationals a lot recently. My own team, as you can see, I even got the World Series shirt on today just for the special occasion. But man, we've been getting crushed. Yesterday, I actually had Braves -6, and I got pushed on it, so I was real mad about that. Almost had that nice alt line spread right there. But yeah, the Nationals are in a real rough spot right now. Bullpen is completely fried. Now we've got Eric Fedde on the mound, who's not having a great season, but even beyond that, his career against the Braves has been very, very bad. In 7 games against the Braves, he has 0 wins, 4 losses, and has given up 4 or more earned runs in 6 of those 7 games. So, as you can see from all that, it's been a pretty brutal stretch for Fedde going up against the Braves. But even beyond that, just thinking about what Fedde does well, he's going to like to get ahead in the count early. He's going to attack the strike zone. He's going to try to, do his best to keep his pitches down. But that's really, really, really hard to do when you're going against a Braves team that's not only the hottest team in the league, but they're going out there and just swinging, right? First pitch, second pitch, it doesn't matter. They're not going to let Fedde get ahead in the count. They're going to be attacking those first pitch strikes. Just a terrible matchup for a guy that struggled against this Braves team before. I switched in Swanson right there. He's been on fire, has a hit in 25 of his last 27 games. That's pretty insane. He's crushed the Nationals, back-to-back homers in these last 2 games. I expect him to stay hot. I'm going with Swanson to get a hit and the Braves to win -110 on DraftKings.
Beautiful. Prop guy, you got anything on this one at all? Have you been riding this Braves train? 13, right? How many is it, row? 13? Or how many games is that in a row? So have you been riding this at all?
I've been on the Braves on and off throughout this stretch. A lot of big parlay pieces.
Yeah, no, I've been all over him. Obviously, I think I've taken him 3 times during the stretch on the first 5. And even yesterday, dude, 5 homers again. It's just like when it's just getting hot. Nationals Park is playing extremely small, and we're seeing guys who really don't get many swings and misses on this Nationals team, right? You like even last night, I don't even know how to say that guy's name, but his swing and miss stuff was just not there. When you got power guys that swing and miss a lot, and you can't make them miss, that ball goes pretty far. Like Marcell Ozuna's hit yesterday was an absolute nuke. That thing was destroyed. I think it was like 440. Ball got out of there in like 3 seconds. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm going to have an Ozuna home run sprinkle again today. He's another guy. He has 2 home runs and not less than 10 plate appearances against Fedde in his career. These Braves, if you just look through their game logs, it's hard to pick a guy to get a hit against Fedde because they've all career-wise done so well against him. So obviously a tough problem to have as a Nationals fan. Yep, Jay just dropped it. Ozuna 6 for 9 against Fedde with 2 homers during that span. It's going to be a brutal day for the Nationals. Looks like the sweep is going to happen, and then we get the Phillies. We can move on. Let's stop talking about this.
All right, we'll go to mine. Obviously, I dropped it down below already with all 3 of our first place here. I'm going with Zach Gallen over 17.5 recorded outs over on DraftKings here. -125 this morning. I'm seeing about -130 at the moment here, and I'm just rolling with the talent here, right? If you look at the latest numbers, they're not going to be good, right? Played at Philadelphia, just got absolutely blown up. He went 6 against the Pirates, but the 3 before that, 5 innings, 5 1/3, 5 2/3. But looking at the teams they're playing, right? The Cubs, they've been hitting the ball well lately. You have the Braves, who we just talked about, who are just on an absolute killer streak right now, and the Royals, who don't really strike out that much, right? So those are teams that we really don't want to attack and fade. And now we're doing exactly what I love to do. I talked about the Reds, home road splits. I even played DFS Zach Davies last night because I hate the Reds on the road so much. I'm a Brewers guy. He played for the Brewers. Zach Davies is absolute cheeks, and the dude shoved last night. 7 innings, 7 Ks, and now you're going to bring in the ace of the staff. Much better stuff, obviously. Pitches way better at home. Looking at his numbers here, he's got a 2.5 ERA at home versus a 3.52 on the road with only a 194 batting average allowed. So Gallen has been getting a little bit roughed up as of late, but now we're going to be getting probably one of the best matchups you can get. Reds bat about 235 against righties on the year, but they only bat 210 on the road. Sign me up for the talent of Zach Gallen here. Obviously, it's well known. He was hyped to start the season. It started out the year through his first 3 starts against the Dodgers and the Mets twice with a 0.6 ERA. The dude's got the stuff. He's got the talent to get it done. And I think that this is a spot where we can definitely attack it and get that buy low option, right? Because he hasn't got to 6 innings in 3 of his last 4 outings. But like I said, one of them is against the Braves, one of them is against the Cubs, right? And I think that the talent of Gallen definitely outweighs the talent of this Reds roster, who has been struggling. Besides, I think Brandon Drury is the only real guy on this team who's actually doing anything here. So sign me up. Do you guys have any thoughts on the Diamondbacks Reds? Got to be one of the worst matchups you could ever have.
I mean, I kind of agree with you completely. One of the biggest things for me with outs props is obviously how long of a leash does this guy have. It's been shown throughout the season. They're not going to be super careful, right? They're going to let Gallen pitch as long as he's looking relatively good out there. It's not like they have an amazing bullpen to turn to, real early on that'll carry them through those late innings. Completely with you right here. As soon as I saw this one, I'm definitely tailing you. I like the bounce back spot. Those always tend to work out well. The market gets a little low on these people after a couple shaky outings, but you really got to look at who they're facing, the kind of matchups, the home road splits, and then maybe the home road splits of the opposing team, like you mentioned as well. So definitely tailing you on this one, 100%.
Prop guy, got anything for us on this one? Or are we going right into Taylor Fade?
I actually almost played this one as well for the show. Something about the Reds, though. They've bet me back-to-back days, so I didn't make it my play, but since you're on it, I got a tail.
Awesome. Well, Dan is perfect, man. He's been on fire today with bringing us into our next section here. We're into Taylor Fade, and we will start out with one that we've already talked about. I think this is going to be a pretty easy one for us, seeing as it's the one you've already talked about it, prop guy. I'm already tailing. You already signed me up on that one. I think this one's pretty easy. As a guy that you just literally broke down pretty well. Monotone, you going to be dropping that tail again here?
100%. I wanted exposure to Buxton before I even, got on the show, before I saw either of you guys' picks. Obviously saw that career history he had against Gonzalez, over 1.5 total bases, especially for it to be at plus 100. That's an automatic tail for me right now, 100%.
Beautiful. And I don't even have to ask you, prop guy. You already broke it down for us. So the reason why we brought up Dan here on laddering Castillo is because Taylor Fade, number 2 play of the day, is Castillo over 6.5 strikeouts. I believe it is 5.5 as his normal line, a little bit juiced. But prop guy, you got anything for us on Castillo? You going to be tailing or fading over on the number 2 highest bet spot on the Pikkit Sports app?
Castillo is one of those guys that I've always struggled to get a read on. It's either feels like he goes for 8 to 9 strikeouts, or he's going to go 2 innings, give up 5 runs, and maybe strike out 2 if he's lucky. I would probably have to say, since it is the D-backs, I might honestly tail this one. And I don't hate the ladder idea.
Yeah, I mean, the ladders have been kind of good lately. I don't know. It's just been Vegas has been off. I wish they had the ladder down, I wish they could let me ladder it to like 2 and then get that plus money there. But Monotone, what you got for us? We obviously got the tail across the board for number 1. You gonna jump on the tail here for Castillo?
Yeah, I hate to do this, man, but it seems like I am gonna tail both of them. You guys know I'm normally kind of fading the public plays, but with just the matchup, right? The Diamondbacks, man, they can strike out 6 times, 7 times in like 3 innings. It seems like Castillo's been making it pretty deep into these games recently. I completely agree with what Prop Guy said. Sometimes he just doesn't have it, and it's super clear. You'll see it in the first inning. He just doesn't have it. But I like that they've been letting him battle recently. He looks better, and now he's got a good matchup. So 6.5, I believe this one's plus money because I know you can get 5.5, a little juice. So it looks like people over on Pikkit were taking this, plus 150. For those kind of odds, I definitely would also consider laddering it up and seeing just how many, Diamondbacks he can get out in this one.
See, I was trying to find really everything that I could to say on the fade here. I like the 5.5. The 6.5 is kind of scary, but then I looked into it, and I just think he's going to go so deep into this game, right? We have a team here in the Diamondbacks that bat 214 versus right-handed pitching this year. I don't think he's going to have crazy strikeout numbers. Like, I don't think it's going to be like 8 Ks in 5 innings. I think it's going to be like 1 K an inning, and he gets to like 7 2/3 here, right? So I don't think it's going to be just boom, 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 like you've seen with like the Ceases of the world or the guy I'm going to be talking about here in a second. But I think he gets deep enough to get this number. I would say I would take it at 5.5, 6.5. I don't know if I'll bet it. But for this purpose, I will tail it, and I'll be the chalk guy here and have all of us rolling here on the tails. I just like both of them. The public's doing pretty good today. and we will get it going with our second round of plays. Back to you, prop guy, with a guy who I've been loving to fade in the DFS market. So I love to see this play.
James Kaprilian over 2.5 earned runs. This is a kid that I was really high on when he got drafted and when he was coming up. But I don't know, this year it's just not there. He's got a 5.73 ERA overall in the year. I mean, he's averaging giving up 3 earned runs an outing. Well, those numbers are crossed. ERA of 5.73. Last time out against Boston, he gave up 4. He's allowed at least 4 in 3 of his last 4 starts. And to go along with that, a lineup like the Red Sox, you got JD, Xander, Devers. Story against righties is kind of a non-factor, but he's still there. It's still the name. And Kaprilian loves giving up home runs. He's given up 8 in his last 5 starts. So I just think when you meet an explosive offense like the Red Sox, 2.5 earned runs is not a lot to ask for from the Red Sox offense.
Yeah, no. When I was looking at this, I almost considered pretty much the same play, the Red Sox team total. It's their first 5 team total, pretty similar plays right here. Definitely agree. I'm on a Red Sox that I'll talk about in a little bit, but like you said, it's just a real tough matchup for a guy that just hasn't seemed to have it this year. I wasn't really on him at all in his through the draft process because I don't follow any of that shit, so I only see it when you get to the major leagues. But what I've seen so far has not really been intimidating, and what we do know is intimidating is that Red Sox lineup. So completely agree with you right here. I think I should just be playing Red Sox team totals or the pitching earned runs, first 5 every single game. Yeah, it feels like the move these days, but definitely agree with you right here, 100%.
Yeah, I can't fault you at all. Obviously, the Red Sox play much better at home. At Fenway, I believe they're number 5 in the MLB in average at home this year, 264 batting average. And I am always down to fade Kaprilian. His fastball just is not getting by guys anymore. First year, obviously, last year he was able to kind of get those ground ball outs. He's not doing that anymore. This is a scary lineup. I mean, last night you saw it in Martinez going yard, Devers goes yard, and you're just seeing a lot of hard contact. And in a facility like Boston and Fenway, that ball is flying out of that park. So I love this spot. Like I said, I've been taking hit to fade him quite often, and you can't get me off of him in Fenway. It's definitely a terrible spot for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, good transition, right, to Monotone spot here. Obviously, mentioned it a second ago. He's going to a Boston guy. Here it is.
Yep, I'm going Xander Bogaerts and Jonathan Daza to both record a hit, -115 over on FanDuel right now. Bogaerts is another one of those guys that he's having a great season, but it's really nobody's talking about him at all. Obviously, Devers crushes the ball. JD's been a little bit more popular in gambling Twitter for those hit parlays, that hit streak he was on. It seems like nobody's talking about Bogaerts. I mean, if you look through his batting average, he's obviously 325, 327, something like that, 5th in the league so far. But if you look through those splits, what I really like to see, lefties, righties, home, away, day game, night game, all of it is extremely consistent, over 300 in each one of those categories. He's just getting the job done right here. In his last matchup, like you talked about before, he had a home run. He had a double, had a very good outing against the Athletics. I think it'll be another good one pretty much. I'm a big fan of Bogaerts. He's been super consistent right here. To get it at I believe it was -250 for a parlay piece, very much like that. Moving on to Daza. It's pretty simple. When you get the guy against the lefty, you got to do it. He's hitting over 400 against left-handed pitching this season. That's just insane. Another one of those guys that's really flying under the radar this year, plays in a pretty stacked Rockies lineup, and he doesn't hit bombs, right? So when you got a guy that doesn't hit bombs out in Coors Field, I guess people don't think about him as much as they maybe should be, but he's a guy that's been playing very well, has 3 straight multi-hit games coming in here. He's finally starting to heat back up, hitting over 300 in June. Like I said, over 400 against left-handed pitching. Going to take that 10 out of 10 times right here, like both of these guys, to get a hit today.
Yeah, no, I think it also helps that Daza is not a household name, right? I mean, if it's like Crone, it's like -450 for him to get a hit today, right? Even like Grichuk. I mean, he's not anything great, but just the name value alone is getting him a -400 price tag. I think you're getting a great price here on Daza. And obviously can't go wrong with Coors Field. Prop guy, you got anything for this one? I know you talked about Kaprilian fade, so you obviously got to like the Bogart spot.
I mean, I love the Bogarts leg of it. He feels like the Red Sox player that just doesn't get talked about, but he's almost always producing.
Yeah, no, his numbers are unbelievable. And he just sticks in the middle, right? You just throw him in between your Devers and Martinez, and he's obviously still batting, 340, 330. I thought it was crazy when they put up the batting average numbers that you have 3 Red Sox in like the top 10, right? With Bogarts, JD, and Devers. So, I mean, that's going to be a good lineup for a while, for a long time. Staying over there in the AL East, I will be playing my biggest play of the day, which is Mr. Shane McClanahan. How can you not run or ride this guy? This guy's obviously leading the MLB in Ks at the moment, facing off against, yes, a very tough Yankees lineup, but a power lineup like the Yankees will have swings and misses, right? 26% K rate against lefties this season. They're number 9 in strikeouts at home this season. Obviously, when you're in Yankee Stadium, you're expecting to swing for the fences. They have a lot of guys who can do that, but when you even look at Judge over 25% K rate, you're looking at even Carpenter, dude. They're having Matt Carpenter in this lineup. He can't hit lefties. He's a righty specialist there. So I do expect a lot of Ks in this game, but I don't want to take a side in this game. McClanahan has been hurt by the home run, especially on his fastball this year, but his put-away stuff is just something you cannot ignore. Looking at his numbers this year, he's got a 24% put-away percentage on his four-seam, 33 on his curveball, 33 on his changeup, 30 on his slider. That is 3 put-away pitches over 30%. Whip percentage, obviously, reaching higher numbers of that. Changeup and slider over a 40% whiff rate. It's just something you really can't not want to ride, especially when he's hot right now and facing off against a lineup who's going to try to hit home runs every single time they're up at the plate. A lot of swings and misses in this spot. I get it. Yankees are a tough matchup, especially on paper, but I think we can get enough swings and misses with the number 1 K guy in the MLB here with electric stuff. I got to ride it for 1.5 units. I think it's a little bit juicy, but like I said, I've said it on the show before. This is the max amount of juice that I will play on the show here. Do you guys have any thoughts? Have you guys been riding McClanahan this year at all, or have you guys been staying away?
I've stayed away for the most part, and today's a tough one to tell. It's against my Yankees. That's hard to fade that train, but I do kind of like that spot given how he's been performing. I mean, it's been a phenomenal year for him so far.
Yeah, no, if there's one thing we know about the Bronx Bombers is that when they're not hitting bombs, they're striking out. You know what I mean? He can still kind of even get beat up almost in this outing. Not that I think that's going to happen. Obviously, the lowest total on the slate. I think this is going to be a great game. It would be pretty fun if we saw Yankees versus Rays pitcher duel, right? We don't get that too often. I think this is going to be a phenomenal game. It's hard to fade him this season. It really is. The guy's been absolutely phenomenal. We've got the midseason AL Cy Young versus the midseason AL MVP in this one, right? That's pretty much what it's looking like right now. So absolutely excited to tune into this one. I'll definitely be telling you, got to get some action if I'm going to watch it,
Yeah, and my last point on this one is, like I said, I will not be on a side. I will not take a side, especially because the Yankees have so much pop. I think it was 17% of the hits allowed by Shane McClanahan are home runs because he doesn't give up that many hits, right? And that's the same thing in here. We're going to see the true outcomes of baseball. That is what they call it, the 3 true outcomes: walk, strikeout, or home run. And that's going to be the whole Yankees thing here. I think McClanahan could go 6 innings, give up 3 hits, and all 3 of those hits could be homers, right? That's why I'm not going to touch a side here, but I still think McClanahan gets these Ks. I think he actually kind of blows by this number. I think it actually is a pretty good spot here for him, even though it is in good old Yankee Stadium where that ball kind of flies like crazy. So I love that spot. We'll go through our questions if we got any. Looking like Ella coming into the chat here, thinking about Corbin Burns over 6.5 strikeouts. I always have my opinion on Burns, but I'm a Brewers guy. Do you guys have any thoughts? Have you guys been playing Burns at all lately? I know he had a struggling start against the Phillies last time out.
I've not been playing him at all this season. I leave your Brewers alone, to be honest. I have bad mojo when I bet on the Brewers. So I'll let you take this question if you have anything to say, because you're the Brewers guy here.
Yeah, I'm going to probably stay away from this one today. I just did not like how he was walking guys last outing at 4 walks. It's a career high. And the Mets are a tough team, number 1 WRC plus team in the MLB. They're tough. They're going to be a tough matchup here. If there is no Marte still and he's still out, I think that makes it a little bit easier. But I'm going to just stay away. I think that's a pretty sharp number. Dan dropping the Castillo ladder numbers here if you guys are interested. We got the 8 at plus 310, 9 at 630. I had a ladder on Cease last night who missed a little bit. Ended up cashing the main one, but missed there. Is the ladder something you guys are thinking about here to be rolling with?
It's hard not to. Against a team like the Diamondbacks, hard not to. I don't know how far I'll push it with you. I don't know if I'm willing to go up to 10 or 9, but I like to stay in the 6, 7, 8 range. I think I could get there 100%, especially if he gets deep into this game. Very possible with 6 innings.
Given that D-backs lineup, I think that 8+ strikeouts number was pretty good.
Yeah, and Dan bringing up a good point here. Tyler Mahle just kept going yesterday. I was watching. It's the 9th inning. He came out with 106 pitches, and he went a full another inning. So as a guy who's going to let his pitchers run out there, definitely a spot for maybe Castillo to maybe sneak another inning and get a strikeout or 2.
So it's a plus when you're terrified to use your bullpen. You just can't trust a single arm in it.
Yeah, dude, they're bad. I was talking shit about him last time. Santillan, that dude is an absolute dumpster fire, and he was closing game for him. And then do you guys have an over on the slate? If you're looking at the slate at all, that's a game that you think bats could come alive in.
Yeah, for me, this is a little bit biased. Probably going to be the Braves-Nationals game. It's been flying over. Like I said, I played Braves -6 yesterday, which shows how confident I am that they score runs. Strider's been really good so far this year. I think based on the number, it seems like the books might be expecting a little bit of regression today. So I'm gonna say that would be the over I would be targeting.
I'm going to have to go with Padres and Cubs over 11.5.
Yeah.
It's Ryan Weathers versus Killian, who admittedly I've never heard of from the Cubs.
He's a rookie. He's
rookie.
I think his first start of the year was against the Cardinals last time out.
Yeah, 2 struggling bullpens versus offenses that are swinging it right now. I don't know. I feel like that number, the wind too. It's going to be pushing 20 miles per hour, blowing straight dead center.
That's what I was going to bring up. The wind is
give me all of that over.
100%.
Yeah, I think if I had to lean anything, it's going to be I'll be the chalk guy and go to Coors. I think that's going to be the spot to go today. Gomber, I love fading Austin Gomber. I faded him a lot this year, but also Connor Pilkington. He's good. He's a decent starter, but you're also a lefty facing the number 1 hitting team against lefties in the Colorado Rockies in Coors Field, where they're obviously the best hitting home team in the MLB. I think it's going to be a tough spot for Pilkington to try to maneuver through this order, and he walks a lot of guys. I think it's going to be a game where we're going to see a lot of merry-go-round around those bases here. So I will be on the Rockies one. If you want to throw an over, maybe throw all 3 of those in a parlay or outline them. I think that those are all good spots.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while we're still here, I need a homer from you guys, right? Are we going to keep doing this? I need a homer a day, right? That's been fun so far. So I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm gonna need a home run from both of you guys today. I already got mine with Ozuna locked in, so I'm waiting on you guys.
Okay. What do we got, prop guy? You got it. I'm going to guess it's going to probably go to one guy you talked about already.
I'm going to Buxton.
Yeah.
You're getting give me plus 360 on Byron Buxton. What the numbers that he's put up in his recent games, sign me up.
Woo, okay. So we got Ozuna, Buxton. I'm going to go to my favorite guy that's rode with us here so far, Ian Happ, the guy falling under the radar. I'm going to go Ian Happ from the right side against Ryan Weathers today in that Wrigley crazy game. I'm hoping Monotone's looking up these numbers here because I don't know what the plus odds here, but I'm sure it's going to be a fat payday if we get this one.
Oh, yeah. Plus 89.72 right here. That's a pretty big number. I like that you went to that Cubs game too. If you didn't, I was gonna prompt you to, but you got in there before with all that wind. I think this is a good one right here, man.
Oh, dude, if we hit this, I'm gonna be eating good this weekend. All right,
100%.
beautiful. Let's pop over and do our quick recap. Obviously, you guys have all the plays on the bottom, but I'll have each guy talk about their play just a little bit and tell you what they got and if they're going for our tail or fade. I'll start out with you, Monotone, running through your plays here.
Yep, started out with Swanson hit and Braves money line. That's -110 over on DraftKings. Then we went to Bogarts and Daza, both to record a hit. That is -115 over on FanDuel. And then I'm tailing Buxton right here. Obviously, one of Prop Guy's plays. Tailing that over 1.5 total bases. And I'm tailing Castillo at over 6.5 Ks at +150 right here. A rare double tail today. Let's see if it pays off.
Beautiful. Prop Guy, let's run through yours quick.
Buxton, like I said, given his performance against Gonzalez, I mean, it's self-explanatory. Over 1.5, it's now +100 on DK and MGM. So we'll be riding that. And then Kaprilian is liable to get hit around any start. Red Sox lethal team, -150 on DK.
Then obviously, we'll just know that this is a tail there.
Tailing Buxton, yep. And then I'm going to be on the public side as well, tailing Castillo and laddering up to 8.
Beautiful. I'll be on Zach Gallen of the Diamondbacks to record 17.5 outs. Shane McClanahan to get 7 Ks against the Bronx Bombers. And I will be Mr. Chalk as well, tailing both of the public spots. And then don't forget, we have our throw. Just throw $10 on it, right? You can win $900, right? I think that's what that is, if my math is correct. Around $900 on a $10 bet. I mean, might as well. You might as well maybe throw a round robin on it. I think we got some good spots today. And obviously good weather situations as well. Prop Guy, finishing up the day today, you got anything for the people before we head on out, before we head on into the slate that starts in about an hour and a half?
I could give an early play.
Oh, no, you could just say you can just bring up anything you want. Like follow you over on Twitter. We got your description. We got your link in the description down of the video here. Anything. You can shout out anybody, whatever you want.
Follow me, Above Average Prop Guy. Plenty of lottery tickets, plenty of home run props, total base props, all that fun stuff. So it's just we have a fun time when we win tickets. So
yeah, I saw you even cash a massive hockey one. I saw that big boy hockey one. What was that, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, that would have been Oilers Flames, I think.
Yeah, that was a big one. I saw that. That was a nice little green ticket there.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Monotone, what you got for the people before we head out?
Yeah, no, if you guys enjoyed, we'd appreciate, obviously like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Also, make sure to go check us out on Pikkit. Both of us are over on Pikkit almost every single day, posting different plays, kind of stuff that doesn't quite make it to Twitter, some long shots. I was doing some cross-sport parlays, just all that crazy stuff that, doesn't always make its way over to the main feed. So we're both over on Pikkit. You guys can sign up with code PTP. Pass the prop, obviously. Completely free app. They'll send you some cash, and you can come just follow us, chat, plays, and maybe even find people that like hockey and those other lame sports.
I love it. Well, obviously, guys, you can see all the plays on the bottom. Make sure you go lock those in. Obviously, the slate starts in about an hour. And also, thank you, Prop Guy, for popping in with us, joining us again. I know we've had a little bit of a hiatus before getting you back in here again. Obviously, might get you back in for football as well. So make sure you go follow him. Obviously, his link to his Twitter is in the description below. Again, same thing with myself and Monotone as well. That's where you're going to find most of our plays, most of our picks is over on Twitter. So make sure you go and follow Prop Guy to get all of his lotto tickets, all of his home run parlays, and hopefully we are able to cash our home run parlay for today for you guys as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to Pass the Prop. You guys are the best. We will be talking how we're going to do Friday's show. And hopefully we'll be able to come at you guys with some more winners here. I'm feeling a great slate. So hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day and best of luck on all your bets. So thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Peace.